So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, broadcast recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and American League Baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. Larry Bones Dennison has been on the music scene for many years, playing with the likes of Ronnie James Dio and Lita Ford. But tomorrow's a pretty big day nonetheless for the experienced singer. His band, Country Bones, will be the featured musical guest on Tuesday, April 28th, the April 28th edition of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. The band's single, Let It Ride, will also be released on iTunes on Tuesday, and a 4-song EP will immediately follow the single. You can make them your friend on MySpace at myspace.com/countrybonesmusic. Larry, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing great this morning. How about you?
Doing all right. I would say congratulations on what I suspect is a pretty big week for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed and still pinching myself, that's for sure.
Who would have thought, that a guy who's been around a couple of years could still have big days like this?
I tell everybody, I've just been so blessed in this life with, being able to play music, and it's a frustrating business for sure, and, that my biggest thing is never give up, because if you give up, you just, you're done. You've already made your own destiny, so, yeah, I've just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and somebody took a liking to this music, and here we go.
Now, can you think of any other career highlights that got you as anxious or excited as this week with the new band, the new single?
Well, sure, yeah. Playing with Ronnie James Dio that was one of my biggest, not so much influences, but I was a big fan of their stuff in the early days and stuff like that, and moved out to California. And when I got the chance to play with him and tour the world, that was something else, too. Playing in front of 50,000 people over in Europe and everywhere, that was pretty huge. But, at the same time, you're a hired gun. He's the man, and you're just, it's almost like working a day job. So doing this is way more, fulfilling for me, being the lead singer and being in my own band.
So how did you guys get the gig on The Tonight Show? It's not like they give those out on the street.
Yeah, exactly. And win a lottery. It's, the record label submitted it because we had this single coming out and everything, and we sat on our hands for about 3 weeks to a month and didn't hear back. And, just like everything else in life, I'm kind of callous to that. So, and all of a sudden we got a phone call, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. So we're really super excited now.
I thought it was going to be that you just paid the right guy. I just figured it was, the music business. But okay, I'll take that story.
Yeah, no, you don't pay anybody. If Jay likes you, you're on. That's the deal.
Wow. Now, Let It Ride won't be released until tomorrow, so I don't have access to a copy today. So I wondered if you might give my listeners maybe an a cappella sneak preview of what's ahead.
Well, it's kind of, I'd rather them just be surprised tomorrow night and everything. It's not your typical, country song that it's a barn ripper. So, yeah, it's a story about a frustrated trucker, that's trying to go from town to town to find the right woman, and he gets in a little trouble along the way.
Gee, like that's never happened.
Yeah, exactly. I try to write about real life stories instead of fictitious stuff, and things that have happened in my life and stuff. Not that I'm a frustrated trucker or nothing, but I've always liked tunes that had a little humor, like Jerry Reed used to write and stuff, and something that puts a smile on your face when you're driving down the road, whether you're driving your car to work or what you're doing, because life brings some tragic things and happy things and all kinds of things, and just want to kind of lift people's spirits.
Larry, why country? Why not rock?
Well, it's I've played rock all my life, and this is still in the same vein. It's not, like I said, when you hear the song, it's not your typical country. It's a little bit of rebel outlaw in there, so it has an edge. My guitarist Richard Fortus is from Guns N' Roses, and he just really ripped on this thing. So it has a blend of rock and southern rock,
And people who may not know, why don't you tell us a little bit about the guys in the band?
Well, we've got J.D. Manis on steel, who's a Grammy Award-winning steel player. He played with Merle Haggard, and so we're mixing in a little bit of the old school in with the new age, and Matt Teku is from St. Louis on drums, and Bruce Robb is a producer. He produced Steely Dan and John Cougar Mellencamp, and he's playing B3. And then a friend of mine on bass, and like I said, Richard Fortas on guitar from Guns N' Roses. It's a nice plethora of stuff.
Are these guys that you've known for a while, or any of them new to you?
Yeah, I've known JD for about 15 years, and Richard and I went to grade school together and just came across each other on the road through paths, and I told him about this, and he's always played rock and stuff, and I go, you got your, country picking going on? He goes, man, let me give it a shot, and he came in there and just ripped on it. So we're all grade school friends, so that's kind of an honor to be with him, too.
Now, what would people who knew you from your Dio days think of you doing country?
I don't know. Most people that know me know that I've always had this background and these roots. I've always worn a cowboy hat on stage or, that type of stuff. I always had a pickup truck and always had that, like Southern food. Everybody used to make fun of me all the time because all these guys would eat salads and, and vegetables, and I was always a big beef sandwich or smothered fried chicken. So it was always there. It was just, I just love music so much. That's why I went out and I only played with people that I liked. I never did something just for a job. I always did stuff I enjoyed doing.
So playing country was not an excuse just to wear the hat?
Oh, no, not at all. It's been in my, being from Missouri and everything, it was bred in me, and I was kind of frustrated about a year ago. I was talking to my mom, and she goes, you know what, Larry, just do what you know. So I started doing what I know, and everything just started snowballing.
And what's ahead? The single comes out tomorrow. You're going to be on Leno's show. What do you guys have planned now? Are you going to tour? Are you going to wait to see how the record does?
Well, we're gonna finish up the album. We're kind of doing everything bass-ackwards a little bit. We were recording the album, but we wanted to release the single and offered it to the Tonight Show. So the album will be out about mid-June, and then we hope to hit the road.
Big, small? What kind of places do you want to play at this point?
Oh, big, of course. I'll take it anywhere to get the word out. Right now you can go to countrybonesmusic.com or MySpace/countrybonesmusic. It'll have a direct link to iTunes. So just really hoping to get a bunch of people interested on iTunes and downloads and stuff like that and get a buzz going. And then, just go out and hit the road. Hopefully maybe be a support act for somebody big. But I always think big. I try not to think small.
All right, and I think that's the right way to do it. I mean, this is a business. Well, hard to say, but this is a business. It's art, but it's business. You got to think big.
It is, and it's a tough business, But I tell everybody, don't stop, because if you stop, you just wrote your own future. You're done. I wait till somebody tells me to stop, and hopefully that won't be soon. But just keep it going.
Now, Larry, before I let you go, can you share an interesting experience from working with Dio that maybe people wouldn't know?
Oh, well, maybe a lot of people don't know. One, he's one of the nicest men in business, in the music business. I mean, he's just incredible. He's one of the smartest men I know. I mean, the guy reads a book at night, and he's just very intelligent. I know he's a little guy, but he is the voice of heavy metal, and I just can't believe, you talk about keeping going. He's not a youngin' anymore, and he tours every year, and now he's with the Sabbath guys. Their album comes out April 28th as well. It's called Heaven and Hell, and they're getting ready to go on a big monster tour over in Germany and Europe and stuff. But just never met a sweeter musician, sweeter man in my life.
Well, folks, you can catch Larry Bones Dennison and the Country Bones Band at 11:30 p.m. on Tuesday, April 28th, on NBC's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And download the band's first single, Let It Ride, on iTunes.
Yeah,
finally,
get out there.
Go get that record. Go get that song.
Sir.
What do we call them now? They're just songs now, right? We can't call them records.
Yeah, I know. I'm an old vinyl guy, but I know some bands are still bringing it back. But yeah, it's a single, and these kids with their iTunes and stuff, they put whatever they want on their little iPods, but hopefully they all get out there and download this song. That'd be great.
Great. Well, Larry, congratulations on the record, The Tonight Show, and thanks so much for joining us on Mr. Media today.
Oh, thank you guys very much.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And folks, for more music-related interviews, surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with the late John Denver, with Gene Simmons of KISS, Chad Cherry of The Last Vegas, Billy Bob Thornton of the Boxmasters, and even music journalists Legs McNeil and Bart Bull. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites. Whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio or MySpace, Facebook, High Five, Tag, Bebo, Orkut, Digital Journal, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Pointer Online, iGoogle, Had to Take a Breath, Yahoo, Folio, Mediafly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencastr, Odeo. And subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can do it right after you pick up Larry's new song. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for giving up a piece of your day to spend it with Mr. Media. I always appreciate your time. Thanks,